up. We'll see if that trend continues. As spawning in the right-hand corner of the Republic, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss for Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning into the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran. It is Percival. See in the chats, Leland's in the YouTube chat, when was this played? Yesterday. The games were played yesterday, last night, like, what, less than 24 hours ago. And we are covering them here via replays. We're doing the same thing tomorrow with Group D. Catching up with the chats. So far, we do have a single gas opener, so an economic start out of Percival, going for a Rax expand. Economic opener, likewise, a Classic just going in for the scout, being as annoying as possible. Nothing crazy here in the early game. There's no eBay block, for example. There's no proxy pylon, no shenanigans, no double gas. Viper, want to hang out? Colossus, nah. With the poor Colossus getting abducted and they just walk away, baby. Smooch. Could have sworn I was also watching this channel when I was in bed like 6 or 7 hours ago. We were live earlier this morning. True. We were live this morning casting Group B. If you missed it out, so the VODs are on YouTube, but we did cast Group B this morning. We are live. I think this is 5 hours later. I think we had like a 5-hour break. Now we have Group C. And again, tomorrow we're going to be casting Group D. Tomorrow. In like 18 hours or something. Like 16 hours, 18 hours. Something like that. This is going to be a great replay to study PvZ. I'm not so certain about that. I should say that the last series... we didn't get any standard play. I mean, you could argue that Game 3 was like the most standard play out of Creator, but even then his mid-game was not standard. I was trying to emphasize that I'm going for that robo-heavy style is a little bit more old school. It's not very meta, it's not very orthodox. Going for the double robo Colossus production. It is a lot more standard nowadays to go into Storm and then to go into Sky Toss a little bit faster instead. But at the same time, I also do have to recognize that the meta is shifting, right? The meta is shifting. It is becoming more difficult, or I should say that more Protoss players are being punished for going Storm. It is safer now to go Colossus instead of Storm, just because Storm does less damage. It is still a powerful zoning tool, but especially on some of these other maps, like you could argue that it's not good enough to survive and to defend, and going to Colossus is considered to be safer, right? Just a safer way to get into the late game. But in general, like a lot of the matchups have been shifting in the most recent patch, referring to PvT, referring to PvZ. We have been seeing that shift in the meta. Now, for example, there are some players that are experimenting with more heavy disruptor play as well. But for now, Classic just going for an economic start. Do you see what I see? I see one gateway in the main, one gateway with a natural 2-gate blink. So very greedy here. 2-gate blink into a third base. That is a robo after the third expansion. This is very greedy. Very, very greedy build here. Greedy play out of Classic. It's on Percival to attempt to punish. And we'll see if he can. We have our triple Widow Mine drop. Stim has begun back at home. Percival, he sees the timing. He sees how fast the third base is. It's almost done at this point. So now he knows it was a greedy build. But again, the question is, can Percival do anything about it? Welcome to the Old Republic. This is a much larger map in the map pool. Larger map, longer rush distance by ground. It's difficult to punish a greedy player here. Percival is getting up to his own 3-1-1. Now Percival, he is continuing tank production. Interesting. So what's interesting about this is that tanks, they don't really scale too well into longer games, so you often see players kind of transition out of tanks early on. I saw because they blink into the main base. Can we get Stim? Oh, we can. Yeah, Stim is going to go down. Massive pick up here as we have 2 more volleys. The body blocking. Yeah, massive body blocking here. The tech lab goes down. No, at the same time, mine drop into the mineral line. Get some probes. 4 probes go down. This is nice damage, but oh god, the medevac won't escape. Yeah, the medevac will not escape. It's okay damage here. That was, I want to say 2? 3 Widow Mines. Yeah, 3 Widow Mines and a medevac for 4 workers. I would say a better trade for Classic. And on top of that, he also denied Stim. The Stalkers are still alive. No, the missed rally. Be careful. And Percival, he's stuck at home. He's stuck at home. Third CC has begun. If Percival, if he wanted to go for a sim timing, now he can't, right? The sim timing is come and gone, and Percival is contained. He's contained against a player that went for a greedy build. So right now the soup is lying to you. Right now the supply is quite close between Classic and Percival, but that doesn't really tell the story. What is Classic doing? He's already on a 3-base economy. Classic, he's getting a bay, he's getting a forge, he's getting upgrades, taking a bit of Colossus, he has map control, he's containing Percival, even here threatening to blink and threatening to pick up some units to get some Marine. Gets 2 Marines, pulls away, doesn't lose any Stalkers. Classic is looking very comfortable. Now Percival, he does peel off a drop. Does peel off, he does sneak out across the map. There's a chance for some damage here, but Percival, he desperately needs some damage. At the same time, Classic taking his 4th base. Remember, Percival doesn't even have a 3rd. Like, he doesn't even have it up yet. As medevac goes down, nice catch here from Classic. Cleaning up the drop at the same time. Liberator does get into the natural, not bad. Gets 3 probes. Ooh, but won't get away. Oh, yeah, does not get away. Barely gets sniped. We have a bit of a give and take here, and we're getting some damage. Like 3 probes is okay, but the Liberator still went down. Meanwhile, Percival, he did lose the entire drop on the left-hand side as well. So in the end, this is still a better trade for Classic, and he gets away with a fast 4th. The 4th base is almost done. Percival, meanwhile, is still landing his 3rd. He's floating his 3rd base over. Classic now moving out with Colossus. As Classic has to be careful not to overextend. Gets 2 Widow Mines. Takes down 2 mines, pulls away. As Percival getting caught out on the map, there's no need to be out here. They're losing a medevac. Charge, let's say, dive in. They catch out the mines. One does survive. And again, the win condition here for Classic is just contain. Classic doesn't need to push into the tank line. There's no need to push into the tank line. Classic does not have to push up this ramp. He just has to contain Percival on 3 bases. Meanwhile, Classic getting a 5th. 5th base is on the way. No extra gases. A very heavy kind of zealots reinforcement point. 2nd robo disruptors are amassing. And again, Classic just has to play it slow. Just play it slow. Oh my god. Yo, Classic, calm down. Do you think he's upset about losing that best of 5? Do you think Classic double expanding right next to the Percival? He can even set up shield batteries here and start to harass. Ay, ay, ay. Classic, calm down, Bobby, calm down. Zell drop into the main, recalls back home. Getting up to 10 SCV kills, and he's still not yet done. 14 SCVs going down. Critical damage here just for a handful of zealots. That was only 4 zealots. Now Percival does expand, does take that center base. The observer does confirm this, and this should be Classic's target. So he's dropping once again. No turrets. Oh yeah, there's no turrets in position. Drop into the natural. Drop into the main. Does he go for the warp in? I'm sure he's tempted. Yep, does go for it. Goes to the warp in, and here comes the main push. Diving on the front lines, diving on the tank. Tank goes down. Do get a couple of EMPs, but Disruptor's are ready. Disruptor's got his Novas. Nova goes up. Oh my god, massive connection. The army clumped up, took down one Disruptor, but not the other. Yeah, the other Nova went off. With that, Classic, he pulls away. Again, a better fight here for Classic. And he can just reinforce. He can just keep warping in. He's got an abundance of minerals. Zalsek catch at the mines. They head towards the third base. At the same time, Classic once again pushing forward. Can he get the tank? One more volley and he can. Oof. Tank goes down. Zalsek still trading well. Classic getting a 7th expansion. And you just keep hammering away at this low ground base. Now, something that Classic could do, I don't think he needs to, but something that he could do here is take some extra gases, throw down a fleet beacon, and get ready for Sky Toss. But honestly, there's no need, right? Like, Classic still maintains momentum. He still maintains map control. And he's still trading well. If at any point Classic fails to push through and fails to trade efficiently, then we can start getting worried. But for the most part, Percival, he's still out in the open. Percival is still very accessible. Classic going for an 8th expansion. Zelsa hit the would-be 5th base. Prism into the natural. Gets past the turret. Does slip by. Main army pushing in. Zoning back the army. Getting into the ramp. But yeah, it takes control of the ramp. Takes control of the natural. We have 5 Disruptors. 6 Disruptors even. Oh god, the Novas are connecting. Oh god. The Novas are brutal. The Novas pop off. Zealot reinforcements come in. Vikings are going to be forced to land. And a Classic has done it. He has broken the army. GG. Classic does take game number 1. Whew. GG, well played. A very strong performance here by Classic. Winding it back, a lot of this came down to the early game. If you recall, the initial mine drop play wasn't really too successful, but not just that. Remember, Classic was actually being quite greedy. He went for an opener that is not really seen anymore. It's quite rare. It was very, very popular, very trendy last year, but Classic, he went for a 2-gate opener. He went 2-gate blink into a 3rd. Very, very economic, very greedy play, I would say nowadays. It's a build that fell off just because of the rise in popularity of all-ins. If you remember, it was last year. If you remember last year, there was a period in time where we saw nothing but all-ins in TVP. It was around the era of DreamHack Dallas, like around DreamHack Dallas, pre-EWC. There are a lot of all-ins there, and because there were so many all-ins, Protoss players stopped going for 2-gate openers, but we saw it come back here, and Classic got away with it. Didn't just get away with the 2-gate opener, but he also shut down the mine drop. The mine drop didn't really get much damage either. Classic took a massive economic lead, and right after that, denied stim. So if Percival wanted to be aggressive, he couldn't. He couldn't be aggressive, he didn't have stim, was stuck at home. GG. GG, almost then and there, right? Like the setup, the foundation for that game was all leading into Classic's direction. It was all leading in his favor, and from there, just snowballed out of control. Snowballed out of control, and with that, we're now getting into our next game. Going to be loading into Winter Madness. Here we go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. Representing Protoss Pro, it is a Classic. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran. It is Percival. Now, when it comes to Percival's strengths and when it comes to where he does thrive, I would say is the early to mid game. Percival, he is a traditionally hyper-aggressive player. hyper aggressive player. We see Percival pop off with all these all-ins time and time again. 2 base all-ins, 3 base all-ins, pull the boys. That is where Percival does excel, and that is what I wanted to have seen from him in game 1. It just took a little bit too long to recognize what was going on. So coming into game 2, I expect to see Percival adjust, and I expect to see something more aggressive out of our Terran. But we'll see. We shall see. As Classic pokes in, single gas opener out of our Terran. But I feel like last game was just a good example of how important the early game is. TVP especially can be very momentum based, and once you start getting momentum early on, once you get a really good early game, then things can very heavily swing in your favor. This goes both for Protoss and for Terran as well. Ooh, as Percival, nice kill. Does kill the initial probe. That should not have happened. Nice pickup out of our Terran player, going Marine first into Reactor. Percival, he does not go for the Scout. As you can see here, no SCB Scout, no SCB Scout, and no Reaper Scout either. Basically, Percival's going to be playing blind until he gets Hellions up and running or drop play. For now, he does check the nearby proxy location, making sure there's no proxy gateway. There's that factory follow-up. And Percival, he's being quite greedy here. He's being quite greedy. Oh, okay. I can get behind this. A greedy build, 0 scouting, as efficient as possible, and he's going for a second Rax. Now, what does this mean? This is a second Rax before Starport. That means that we are prioritizing Stim. Really fast Stim, really fast Marine production, and we could even go for a third Rax before Starport. Yep, there it is, third Rax. This tells us that we are going to be heavily delaying the medevacs, delaying any kind of air supportive units in favor of Stim, reactors, combat shields, mass Marines. This can very easily turn into a 2-base all-in where you just pull the boys. You go for a big Stim timing, you pull the boys, you commit, you double down. But this is a very aggressive build here by Percival. And again, this is what he does best. It's what he does best. It's what he is known for. Meanwhile, Classic, how many gateways? So far, 1 gate, getting into Blink. We should be seeing a second gateway soon, and it feels like Classic is going for another greedy build. So he's dancing with initial units. There it is, a 2-gate blink. A 2-gate blink into the third base. As a reminder, this is the build that Classic went for last game. This is the build that I would say is out of meta, was very common, very popular at the beginning of last year, at the beginning of 2025 and 2024 as well, but did fall out of favor for good reason. And I feel like we're about to see why. I mean, we'll see if Classic can pull this off. It's going to be crazy. But again, yep, there it is. There's that third Nexus. Before the Robo and before the third gateway, so hyper greed out of Classic. This is essentially the greediest build you can go for. Like 1 gate into a third base is no, that's illegal. That's just straight up illegal. No shot. We do have a starport on the way, so this tells us that Percival, he might not pull the boys. If there was no starport entirely, then we could just pull the boys and send it. The starport tells us that there is going to be some support here for the Marines. As there's the add-on swap. Add-on swap into medevacs. Stim is almost done, and we're going to be moving out with that Stim timing. And again, it is imperative here that Percival finds damage with this. He needs to at least break the third. At least break the third base. Still building up more Marines, more Marauders. Classic, he fans out a couple of units here to scouts. This is for scout. Jesus, Classic just now going into the main. He has seen nothing, by the way.
I'm here in the shadows.
Classic moves in, and now he does somewhat confirm. There we go, he sees the production. He knows. Classic now knows. Behind this Classic going into charge. I do think that this is probably the best follow-up you can go for, is a very heavy Zealot composition. And warp in as much as you can instead of waiting for Storm. Like Storm as a follow-up is very greedy, very greedy. So you got the Gateways, the Bay, the Colossus. Classic, he needs more time. And here comes Percival. What do we have? We have 23 Marines, 4 Marauders. This is going to be hitting with Stim. It's going to be hitting with Combat Shields. +1 is going to finish during the fight. Let's go. It is going to be go time here. Behind this Classic, he's going to have a handful of Stalkers. Charge is going to be done in time, but we need those Warpins. Okay, here they come. Warping the Zealots. Percival is moving and he scans. Does spot the army. Oh, and he goes for the late boy pool. Okay. he does pull the boys, but far later. So it's going to be a late boy pool here from Percival, but it is a 2-base all-in. Again, I assumed that he wasn't going to go for it because he had the Medivacs, but no, it is just going to be a later pool. This will hit with +1, and it's all or nothing. And remember, there's no splash damage. There's no splash damage here, but there are some force fields. Nice force fields. Choking up the army. Uh-oh. Yeah, the army's choked up. Percival's still trying to commit through. Does break through the sentries. That's a lot of Marines going down. But he stims in. Yeah, he stims in. He breaks through the front lines. No more sentries. There's one Colossus, though. Yeah, there's one Colossus. SCVs are going to be going down. We get a decent spread. The third base is under fire, but he needs that Colossus. He needs to get in. He's so close to doing so. There's no battery. There's no shield battery here. Break through the stroke points. Does get on top of the Colossus. Colossus barely goes down. And Percival, he has done it. He breaks through the natural. Colossus falls. The Robo as well. And Classic trying to get away with greed. He fails to do so. I appreciate that Percival did go for the boy pool. Did go for the 2-base all-in. Did punish the greed. Did punish the greed of Classic. Takes down the Robo. Depowers all the production. Liberators have arrived. And we go into the ace match. We are going to the ace match here as the natural is completely broken. Again, there's nothing here at the... I was going to say there's nothing at the third base. It does recall. It does recall some probes to safety. Has some mining going on at least. Go, let's go. We still got some SCVs. Force field on the ramp, but the army just drops over. Elevators over the ramp, but pushing into the main. Snipes the bay. And with that, he does slow step forward. There's only, what, 3 Stalkers left. Down to 2. Down to 1. Down to 0. 0 Stalkers. GG. And Percival ties up the series. We are going to the ace match. GG. Whew. Again, hyper greed here from Classic going for the 2-gate blink opener. I mean, again, we saw it in game 1 and he got away with it. To be fair, Classic did get away with it in game 1, but here in game 2, this is the downside of going for the same build 2 games in a row at this level of play. Your opponent does adapt, right? Your opponent does adapt. So Percival, he took note of the greed of Classic in game 1. He did decide to go for a much more aggressive build here in game 2. Once he realized and confirmed what was going on, to decide to pull the boys as well. Again, a bit of a later boy pull here. Because it was a little bit later, it did kind of lure Classic into a false sense of security, where Classic, he had minimal defenses, so minimal stack defense. Specifically, there was no shield battery at the natural base, for example. You know, he was saturating up to 3 bases. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're going all the way to the ace match. Going to be loading into Ruby Rock, one of the smaller maps of the map pool, and no shot, Classic goes 2-gate blink. No shot. No way, papi. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Virtus Pro being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is Classic. As spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing himself. It is Percival. Rongyi is China or Taiwan. The Rongyi Cup is a Chinese event run by SCBoy. SCBoy, they're like the Chinese commentators and content creators in StarCraft. So they are running the event. It's an online tournament, but it does have an offline portion. It does have an offline finals specifically. It has an offline finals. We'll get there. Here we go. See in the chat, SCB well played. Well, I mean, if you weren't quite watching the game, then just once again to re-emphasize, Classic was being hyper greedy, was being excessively greedy, I would say. And I mean, hey, he got away with it in the first game, but again, he was punished for it in game 2, which is why we should be seeing Classic evolve over the course of this series and go for a bit of a safer build here, especially on Ruby Rock, right? This is a much smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. There's a higher chance and a higher likelihood of Percival being aggressive on this map. So we should be seeing 3-gate blink, maybe even a robo before the third base, or maybe even 4-gate blink out of Classic. So we should be seeing more gateways earlier on. Meanwhile, economic open out of Percival going for the tech lab, going for the early marauder. So essentially what's happening here is that Percival, he's going for a greedy, I'll say a greedier, he's going for a more economic opener. The probe scout of Classic does confirm the CC on the low ground, and Percival is hoping that Classic is going to try to punish him by moving out with the initial gateway units, and Percival wants to catch that initial unit. So he wants to punish the punish. But unfortunately, Stalker not adept, so he's going to be staying back home. Classic is just chilling, setting up, shield batteries on the way, scouting on his side of the map, and not actually moving out. So in the end, this opener isn't really too worth it. Oh, but we do have a 3 racks follow-up. Okay, second and third racks. Now remember, last game we had a very similar build. Last game it was a racks into factory into second and third racks before the starport, which led into the stim timing, which led into the 2-base all-in. Here it's very similar, except even more intense on that bio production. Big delay on the factory. Very fast stim, faster than last game, so fast stim, fast marine, fast marauder production, a heavy bio force early on. This used to be the go-to build back in the day, back on Site Delta. If you remember, that was back in 2022-ish era of StarCraft. Kira would 3 racks all the time, with mixed success. So again, a very heavy bio composition. If this gets scouted, I would say that this leaves much to be desired, but it's a hyper-aggressive build. And can kill. It can kill an opponent if they're being greedy. Unfortunately, do you see what I see? Robo on 2 bases. How many gateways as well? 1 gateway in the main base. We have 1 gateway at the natural so far. 2-gate blink. But we have a very, very important difference here. For the past 2 games, we have seen a 3rd Nexus by now. But this time, Classic is going for a faster robo, which means he has access to early immortal production. Early immortals, the earlier observer for scouting information as well, and even potentially faster bay for faster colossus. Oh my god, as you can see here, 2 more gateways. 4-gate blink. 4-gate blink on 2 expansions. So as you can see here, a much more aggressive build by Classic. So aggression versus aggression. Who do we favor? It's a harder one to call. It does come down to who scouts who and who is able to interact first. Bearing in mind that Classic did not make a sentry. So no sentry, no hallucination scout. Classic doesn't see anything. Like Classic, he sees nothing right now. And sorry, man, that's a 4-gate. Sorry, 4-gate, 4 racks. We have 4-gate versus 4 racks. I assumed it was just going to be a 3 racks, but this is going to be a 2-base all-in. Okay. Personally, he might just pull the boys. He might pull the boys with this. That's going to be a lot of Marines. Yep, there it is. The boys are being pulled. A 2-base all-in here by Percival. Classic, he has no idea. Classic, he sees nothing. And the armies, they pass by each other. They're passing by. Classic, he does get eyes on some of the army. Nice catch in the Marauder. Big pickoff. Gets a Marauder, gets a Marine. Every unit counts. And Percival, he ignores. Yeah, he ignores the army. Oh, there's a recall back home. Classic not realizing something's wrong. He recalls back home. Oh, Observer gets spotted. Remember, no sentries, no force fields. Nice focus firing here on one of the Marauders. That's 2 Marauders going down already. And the boys are being pulled. The boys! The probes versus the SCVs. Robo gets depowered. Prism goes down. And does Percival have enough here? He's getting on top of the Stalkers. Gonna be zoning them back. We're down to 3 Marauders, down to 2. Oh, yeah, very low Marauder count. Yeah, 2 Marauders left. Nice target firing here by Classic. More reinforcements have arrived. It's getting close, but every stim is killing Percival. He cannot sim for much longer, and he fails to kill. Yeah, he fails to kill in the end. Nice focus firing towards the end, but Classic, he holds, he defends. There's no SCVs back at home. To be fair, Classic also doesn't really have any probes either. True. Low economy for both players. Percival trying to get the hell out of here, losing another Marauder. Hefty losses for Percival. Oh, does punish. Gets a Stalker, but we'll lose another Marauder. Oh, does he get it? He does. Oh, God. Messy. Very messy trades here. Messy trades. Messy fights. Not Ronaldinho, papi. As we have, again, Storm is on the way for Classic. That's going to be a big power spike for the Protoss. And we're in a really awkward kind of game state here. Bearing in mind that Percival does have mules. Jesus, as you can see, he's muling very heavily to sustain himself. It's a lot of mules. Oh, Percival coming in from behind. Okay. Trying to force the stim. I'm sorry, trying to force the blink. It does force it. Yeah, it does blink into the army, and with that 1, 2, 3, 4, every Stalker goes down. Massive catch here for Percival. Classic with his pants down. The pants were down. Classic losing everything. Now it's go time. Now it's go time. Now we send it across the map. Does he pull the boys again? It's not really much to pull. There's not. But now it's go time. What do we have? 4 Marauders. Oh. 4 Marauders. Still no medevacs. Remember, it was a 4-ax. So heavy delay in the factory, delay in the medevacs, delay in the starports. Classic is holding on. He's holding on. Remember, Storm is complete. He's got 3 High Templar. He's got 3 Templar, soon to be 3 Storms. Classic not getting into his 3rd. Building up into his 3rd base, getting ready for a backstab as well. And we're macro. Okay. I guess we're just gonna macro up, Pappy. Okay. Sure, why not? Classic gets a 3rd, so does Percival. We're just macroing from here. Do we slow things down? Do we get into the mid game? Is that what's about to happen? Sure, we get a Prism into the main base. Percival, he is somewhat in position. We lose some mining time. I just realized he's a slow lot. The slow lot harass, Pappy. As Percival does defend. Getting ready for his own run by. Jeez, that's a lot of storms. I was talking about maybe the game slowing down and getting into the mid game, but with this many storms, Percival, he could be broken. Classic can break through. High Templar, they get scouted. Percival, he wants one. Gets one. Yeah, 1 High Templar for all those Marines, but there's still so many left over. That's 5 Templar, at least with 1 storm each. So at least 5 storms, soon to be more than that. Percival, he has to heavily rely on these ghosts. EMPs. If he can EMP the High Templar, then he can survive. Does spot the Observer. Oh, the High Templar going to be safe from the EMPs. They're going to be safe. Actually going for the Storm Drop into the mineral line. Okay. Yeah, Percival pulls away in time. This is so risky. This is such a high value prism. Jesus. Classic. He does race back home and he should recall. Jesus. He should recall back. There it is. Classic. You're playing with fire, Pappy. Calm down, Pappy. Calm down. Now we're building up. Classic getting his 4th base. Percival getting his 3rd. There's still 8 High Templar. That's still an insane amount of Templar here. And again, one of the features of Ruby Rock is just how open the 3rd is. It's a lot more open, a lot more accessible. Classic gets tempted. Simon gets spotted. Same time, Storm Drop into the mineral line. Ooh, catching out 12 SCBs. Until workers go down. Nice EMPs. Very nice EMPs. All the High Templar get caught out. Snipes as well. Clutch save with the Archons. Very clutch save. Ooh, and Zelt's overwhelming. Yeah, Zelt's overwhelming. Flanking Storm as well. Ghost getting called out. Massive pickoffs. Losing 3, 4, 5 Ghosts. Oh my god. Has so many Ghosts go down. Expensive losses there for Percival for both players. Percival losing Ghosts. Classic losing High Templar. Still very tense, but there is a Storm in the chamber. Oh, EMP does miss. EMP misses. Storm sends away. Nice snipe on the High Templar. There's one Templar left. He almost has a Storm ready. He's up. Gasito. Yeah, he's oh no. High Templar gets sniped. No more Storms. Archon goes down, and Percival, can he break through? Ah, the Colossus has arrived. Yeah, the Colossus makes it just in time. Classic, he will hold on. We have a second Colossus rallying in as well. Boys are being pulled. We get a bit of an F2 here. The Observers, they move in. And Classic holds. Again, a very messy defense. Very messy. But he's holding on. And as time goes on, it's getting better and better for Classic. He's about to have 4 Colossus. He's making 2 at a time. That's a lot of Colossi. Meanwhile, I believe this is the first pair. Yeah, the first pair of Vikings. Medevac's getting called out. Ghost as well. EMPs are landing. Just some nice EMPs at the same time. Zelarambai does hit the mineral line. Percival getting distracted. The entire army turns around. As that is going to be another 6 SCB kills. 6 SCVs. Now we've built up to 4 Colossus. Now we have Immortals on the way. Soon to be Disruptors. And Percival, he's not there yet. So 5 Vikings. We'll get 1 Colossus. 1 Colossus goes down. We had a decent EMP. As the Storm is zoning. Once again, while they're distracted, Zelarambai comes in, but there are Widowmice to defend. Nice defense here by Percival. Still very tense. The Immortals are amassing. Immortals are building up. Very nice EMP on the High Templar, forcing out 2 Archons. But there's still a Storm left over. There's still Storms. Another EMP lands. Okay, the EMPs have been impressive here from Percival, but Classic, he still has the freedom to warp into the main base. He still has a better economy. Classic is now maxed out. And he can soon start to push. And he can soon start pushing. Zelt's in the main. Zelt's at the 3rd base. More SCVs are falling. This is getting out of hand. Classic taking more bases. Double expanding even. Getting that 5th. Getting a 6th. And soon we'll start building up that bank. Now, what I can't believe is that we got to this point after the 2 base all in. Like, we remember Percival, he pulled the boys, Pappy. He pulled the boys. Went for the 4x stim timing, 2 base all in. And hey, it almost worked. Like, he almost killed Classic then and there. It was very close. And then we've reached a game state where Classic is maxed. Percival, he's still not quite there. Like, I still do favor Classic in this position. But Percival is on the way. Oof. Does lose a ghost. Storms are landing. Once again, ghosts are exposed, and Classic, he's moving in. Yeah, last we saw that Percival, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for this fight. His army was out of position. He wasn't expecting the main army to move in. That was a rough fight here for Percival. Once again, storms are landing. Brutal storms. Percival is stimming in. Once again, storms a punish. Percival split out so many ghosts throughout the course of this game. There's only one ghost left. There's no EMPs. No EMPs. Only one ghost. Speaking of, down to 0. Yeah, 0 ghosts left. The final one goes down. Nice drop here out of Percival. Does get some damage, does distract, but the main army's coming in, and this might just not be stopped. Yeah, Classic, he will not be stopped. He's pushing up the ramp. We've got, what, 4 Immortals, 5 Immortals even. 5 Immortals, 2 Colossus. A massive Protoss death blow of an army. GG gets called, and Classic, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on into the winners match. GG. Whew, GG, well played. A very intense back and forth. Game 1 was a little bit more one-sided. It was. Game 1 was more one-sided. Classic looking very comfortable in Game 1. From almost just the beginning of the game, knocking down the aggression, getting away with greed, and punishing Percival, denying stim. Game 2, we saw Percival punishing Classic and was able to go for his 2 base all-in and caught Classic with his pants down. Here in Game 3, we saw aggression from both sides. It was 4 racks out of Percival, and it was 4 gates out of Classic. Like both players were committing on 2 bases, so it was a really awkward game state. In the end, that did favor Classic. He was able to micro well enough. He was able to shut down the all-in and expand from there. It was still very close and still very shaky, but for the most part, after the initial defense, Classic was in the driver's seat. Like Classic, he had the freedom, he had the better economy, so he had the freedom to go for Zealot run-bys and Zealot drops and War Prism harass, and just kept expanding. And to be honest, even though there was a lot of posturing with the armies, the bases where Classic were left alone. Right, his 3rd, his 4th, his 5th, his 6th towards the end, like his bases and his economy was left untouched, so he could just keep it trading, replenishing his army, building up, and overwhelming. It's able to overwhelm. GG, well played. Whew. And with that, Classic does take the series, and that leads us into our next match. Let's go. Let us go.